Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP Reviews show. I am one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my bestest best friends. I'm going to start off with Chubax
Hello, guys. We're back after a fun-filled week. You can call me Chubax or Daddy.
or
Daddy.
Chubax. Our other bestest best friend and another host is RJ.
Hello, everyone. My name's RJ. Good to be back, just as what Chubax said. Can't wait for another episode today.
I thought you said
Awesome.
Daddy.
Oh, no. Definitely,
Yeah.
I heard Chubax.
Chubax. Yeah.
And I said that.
A bit of
Clearly.
housekeeping before we start the episode. Plus 63 HP is on YouTube, so feel free to search us. Just type in plus 63 HP in your search bar, and you'll definitely find our shows. You can launch us directly from your browser by typing bit.ly/plus 63 HP. We are both on Twitter and on Instagram. Just follow us at plus 63 HP. And if you don't want to see our handsome faces or RJ's handsome face, you can listen to all of our shows on any of your favorite podcasting app available around the globe. We prefer Apple Podcasts and Spotify. This show is the review show where we provide you with our opinions, analysis, and what context should you watch these shows that we've been following week on week, as well as some special shows and movies that we want to dive into and discuss. The show comes out most Tuesdays, noon Philippine time and midnight Eastern Standard Time. On Wednesdays, however, our first D&D campaign drops as a week-on-week episode, so feel free to follow that as well. That is at plus 63 plus 63 D&D. On Thursdays, we have a fun reacts show that we drop same time, noon Philippine time or midnight Eastern Standard Time, where we collate some of the most fun trailers and short bits that we've collected throughout the week and watch it all together and provide our plus or minus reactions and see whether we're going to watch it day of in the theaters or as soon as it comes out, once it's available on video demand or when it becomes free. So you have many shows that you could enjoy with us to enjoy all the content that is dropping on an almost daily basis. Housekeeping done this week.
We do have two specials this week.
Oh, yes,
Right.
We have a couple of special episodes that or one shots that drop on the channel. So make sure that you hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell so you can see the amazing Chuidians react to special trailers. The kids react, the Chuidian kids react to the special trailers,
Following in
as well as
their
more
daddy's footsteps.
play-alongs of the games we're playing. So if you make sure that you are hitting that notification bell so you know when those episodes drop. Right, housekeeping done. I'm excited for this week. We are
Let's
continuing to
fucking
discuss
go.
Hawkeye episode
Mm.
5, and our movie of the week is a musical out on Netflix, starring Andrew Garfield, directed by Lin Manuel Miranda, about one of the best American playwrights, Jonathan Larson, entitled Tick Tick Boom. Before we start that, we purposely made this episode a little bit shorter because we have a very a longer Game Awards reaction special that we wanted to do. So again, we deliver or we react to not just movies and TV shows, but we also react to game announcement, game trailers, books, podcasts, any content that you would want to enjoy by yourself or with your friends and family. Next week, if you want to join along, we are going to discuss the next episode of Hawkeye, which will be the last of the series.
We got finales
We're gonna
next
have a
week.
longer, yeah. So we're gonna have a longer discussion about Wheel of Time. We're skipping it this week. We're gonna combine episodes 7 and 8 for a more in-depth, holistic reaction of that particular series. And literally came out a couple of hours ago, is the second season of The Witcher with our very, very close friend. And we taught him everything that he knows, Henry Cavill. So we're excited to discuss a bunch of episodes of that particular series and the next reviews episode with you guys. All right, housekeeping done.
Let's
RJ,
go. I've been
the
waiting four
penultimate
days for
episode of
this.
Hawkeye. Give us your version of the plot summary, and we'll discuss what we like, what we don't like about, and our favorite storylines about Hawkeye as a series. Take it away, bro.
Sure. Well, Hawkeye episode 5, it's actually sad because it's nearing the end of the holiday season with Hawkeye. So a lot of things have dropped in this episode, and we're still following up, and we're excited to know what's gonna happen next Wednesday. So for Hawkeye episode 5, I think it's called Ronin. All right.
Yes.
Mhm. Yep.
So with the title Ronin, so we already have a guess that either it's going to be a flashback of how Hawkeye was Ronin, or it's going to be a foreshadowing of Hawkeye putting on the hood once again and walking out as the Ronin. So it starts off with where we left off in episode 4 with Yelena being revealed. So there is a brief background of how she was back in 2018, just before the blip. So she was doing her assignment, typical day at work with a fellow worker, killing
Mhm.
people, something a standard
Saving
assassin
people.
would do. Sorry. Then going to the bathroom, splashing her face, and suddenly blip happens. So she starts fading into ash, which is somewhat pretty much iconic from the series that you know from MCU. So flat and after a few years, she's back. She realizes she has to look for Natasha. Now, other side of the story, you've got Kate going back to her mother's apartment, eventually feeling defeated after being rejected or being asked to go home. One of the questions that were asked her was, "So, does he think you're a superhero?" Her answer was, "No, actually, I thought I was, or I thought I could be one of them." So that's how she idolized Hawkeye, having his posters on the wall and all that. Now she also was able to open up about Jack, about being involved in a shell company, Sloan Limited. Eventually, that discussion's happening. Move forward to Kazi and Maya. Kazi helping Maya out of her injuries after that battle with on the rooftop with Hawkeye and Kate, and apparently with Yelena as well. They decide that they need to look for Hawkeye and capture him, or at least find him. Um, forward forward further, you got Yelena somehow reaching out to Kate and having that conversation, telling her what her real intentions are, which is of course to kill Clint. So she also gave a nice warning to Kate that, don't get in my way, because I think she was actually merciful towards Kate. If you notice on episode 4, when she got pushed off or kicked off the roof at the beginning, I think there was something that helped her stay. There was like a
Tied her.
rope that
Tied her up.
that tied her, which actually came from Yelena, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
she tied her up, then pushed her.
Right? So that's how quick it all was. So eventually, feds came up, captured Jack. So I'm not really sure if they're still gonna have time to make Jack Duquesne into the swordsman. I still hope they would, but
Maybe
perhaps
save it for the second season.
perhaps. So he's probably gonna be the swordsman after being captured or something. So the epic end onto it is where Clint goes back to Grand Central Terminal, where there's this placard, the memorial for all the fallen heroes. And just to avoid any distraction, he again removes his hearing aid and starts talking to Natasha from his heart, and basically saying, you're the most brave, or you're the bravest of us. And I'm sorry what I'm about to do. And after he said that, he puts on his hood, which makes me think that he's going to turn into the Ronin again. So I don't know if that is going to happen, but we'll see on the next episode, I suppose. So that's my wrap of.
Did you cut there, Jay?
Yeah.
It wasn't done yet.
It wasn't done yet.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh shit.
Oh, continue,
Okay.
Chubax, the plot.
Go. Continue.
He
Continue.
didn't
Ray.
finish. So he calls the wife and says that he's worried about the big guy coming in, and
The big guy.
then he has to do something that they don't want. But then the wife just very supportive says, "I trust your judgment. Do whatever you need to do." So he sets up a meeting with Maya, and he throws like
Sorry, yeah, that's right.
he throws
Go
a
ahead.
he throws the message to one of the Russian guys. I like where they're in the van, and then he sets up a meeting with Maya alone. But of course, when Maya, it's where he killed her dad. So when they set up the meet, it was supposed to be an ambush. Maya's in the middle, and everybody's all around them, and then Hawkeye goes Batman and takes them one by one out around her until it's just her and him, and then they fight, and then Hawkeye reveals that he comes in the Ronin suit with a mask. They fight. Maya holds her own a bit, and then Hawkeye beats her eventually with a sword, and then reveals her mask and goes with something like, "We're the same. We're both weapons, and we can be because of our rage. We're blinded, and people can manipulate us." I was there that night because an informant told me.
An informant.
An informant working for your boss. So your boss wanted
Was
your
the one.
father dead and used me to do it. And then because as he was explaining, she gets the upper hand, and then before she can kill him, Kate comes in, saves him, and then they use an Uber to escape, which is so funny. And
The
then
best.
yeah, and then Maya starts thinking, and then she meets Kazi, and she says like, "Why weren't you in that meeting when my father died? You were his number two." Then he's like, "I didn't get a call. It's nothing. It's okay." And then she leaves. And then Yelena follows Eleanor Bishop,
Eleanor.
Kate's mom. And then I love that. Oh, well, we'll go to discuss later. Hawkeye and Kate go home to girls, the LARPer, fireman. And while they're talking and having fun, Yelena texts Kate and says that I found out who hired me to kill Clint, Eleanor Bishop. And then sends a crappy text photo, crappy like 480p cell phone picture. And when they look at it, like Kate's like, "Who's this guy beside my mom?" And then Clint's like, "Well, that's the big guy
That's the big
that I've been worried about all this time, called the Kingpin." Boom. And we see Vincent D'Onofrio in a crappy 480p picture. It's not even. Come on, Yelena, you're a master assassin. You couldn't get like 10,
It's
720.
just being careful. Being careful.
7, yeah.
Alright. But yeah, that's the episode. So who starts?
Uh, Jade, what did you like the most? Or what are the storylines in the particular episode that has kind of like really piqued your fancy?
Well, currently I ended midway, so so apparently my favorite line was his dedication actually to Natasha. It really shows that that Natasha really played a very big role in his life throughout the Avengers movie. So and it shows even here how affected he is. But it's not in a romantic way. It's really like the person who saved me from being Ronin, which was really Natasha. And that's why he's apologetic to her. That monologue or dialogue that he had with her in his mind was basically what got me, because it felt that he was really regretful. It's like he knew that it took a lot to save him from that, yet sadly due to the circumstance he has to go back to it. So that for me was touching.
Box, how about your storylines that kind of like
Come on,
really
man.
came out that you like in this episode?
This is one of my favorites. I mean, I didn't know you could top the last one, but there's so much to talk about this one. First off, My God, how did Florence become a game changer? Every scene she's
Right?
in, it's just like,
Right?
damn, like I'm trying to analyze it because if you look at her critically, I mean she's gorgeous, but she's
She
Mhm.
not
is.
like beautiful. Like I mean, there's so many beautiful actors. I mean, even Haley Steinfeld is very beautiful,
Mhm.
but there's just
That's true.
something about her that's like, and when she's on
Was it
screen,
How do
everything
you
she
say her
said,
last name? Hug?
Pew?
Pew, Pew.
Hugh?
Pew.
Everything she does just makes me laugh more. Makes me so. It's just so cool. Even the way she catches the sriracha and is,
Mhm.
uh,
Oh, the hot
it's
sauce
like
thing. Yeah.
it's so she's so amazing, And then the accent, even though it's kind of funny, I just love it. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just she on another actress it would be like crappy, but on her it's more
Mhm.
endearing than I
Mhm.
don't know. Just so cool. And I mean, well, let's start with the first part. I mean, it's probably what maybe the second or third time we've seen the blip happen to
The
somebody
blip come
else.
back, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Hmm.
this one was so good that you see her disappear and then come back. So that's why it was surprising because I think we've seen people disappear, we've seen Monica come back
People come
in
back, yeah.
yeah, but we didn't see the phase of
The entire thing,
disappearing and
yeah.
coming back. So it was so cool, and you could see the how traumatic it is, and I just love how Marvel, it's not like they keep dipping on it. It's just that it was that big, It
Mhm.
you can't ignore it. It happened to the whole world, the whole universe. So
Hmm.
it's really part of their DNA. So coming back to it isn't a cheat. It's just normal, and it just makes it more amazing. And it just keeps reminding me that yeah, Endgame happened, and Endgame was this
Mhm.
big, Even if you didn't like Endgame, its ripples are still going on, and it's that good. It's the storyline was just that well thought out and really brings everything together. And then the chemistry between Kate and Yelena, it's fire. I mean, it's like Kevin Feige must be like, my next Avengers are, it's like a mad scientist, like, oh, this is gonna be so good. And I like that they're doing it, sprinkling. It's not like in your face. This is the next Avengers. Like, oh, this could be one. This could be one. Let's see how they
Mhm.
work. Like he said, they have to earn it. The next
Yep.
Avengers has to earn it, and that's what they're doing. They're making them earn it. So it's so good.
Hmm.
Clint, of course, is amazing with the wife. The wife is just amazing, right? Who doesn't want a wife like that? Like, whatever you do, it's
It's
Christmas. Yeah,
beyond
just
understanding
go,
how
man.
she
But
deals with
I
that.
mean, more and more, there's a lot of internet theories that are saying that Laura also used to be uh,
But even if she didn't,
an operative agent, right? Because she was, she was being the man in the chair in the past couple
yeah.
of episodes. But like,
That's
right,
true. That's true.
Clint wouldn't be an Avenger without that kind of support.
But even if she wasn't, I mean, the fact that she married him, she knows what
Mm-hmm.
she should have been
Yeah.
used to it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nice that she accepts who he is and is just very supportive. And then the
No,
fight
but
scene,
if you are the person in the chair, then you're basically what kind of
what's
life he's
happening,
in.
yeah.
So you know
Yeah.
what works like. It's like when like here in real life, if you marry a doctor and your husband or wife's always out, you understand if you are also in the same
Yeah.
field, right? But if not, you'd be like, wow, this person's always gone. But for her,
Yeah.
she's like super supportive and even gets to research for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find
And
out more
the
about this.
and then the Ronin fight was with Maya. I can't wait for Echo. That's gonna be so good. I think she's gonna be wearing the Ronin suit.
I
At
was gonna
least
The-
say that she
I
she
think that's
might
gonna.
that might be the ending
I think that's
where
gonna be
Hawkeye
happening.
gives
Maybe she's gonna investigate the
oh,
big guy, so that
yeah,
so she's
continue to
playing.
investigate
She's
Kingpin.
gonna be
Yeah.
play both sides, Maya and
Mhm.
then Ronin. So that's gonna be good. And then the ending.
It's just comic book accurate, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just kind of good.
And the ending.
okay, yeah.
We got it. We got Vincent, and then his name was there. It's so good in the credits. And then you see the Easter egg of
The silhouette of New York
finale
City.
silhouette. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. I need to show that up. But yeah, and then Vincent D'Onofrio tweeted like when I was a boy, and then he showed that silhouette. It was like, oh, It's so good. But yeah, so that's me, just so giddy like a kid. Me and the kids are so happy. Sad that it's one more episode. A little worried that there's so many plot. It's gonna be another rushed ending. But then they gave us 5 amazing episodes, so I'd rather have 5 amazing episodes and then a little hard in the end than crappy 5 episodes and then
Mhm.
superb ending. So yeah, how about
Doesn't
you,
that
Joe?
give us hope that there's a season two?
I'm sure there's going to be. Well, the thing here is, I
Is Clint might
again
not be
this
in it.
one, but that's fine because I think it's. I do like the idea that
There,
the
look at
the
that.
story continues with Kate Bishop and or Echo,
And
right?
Yelena.
So
And
yeah,
Yelena.
again, Yelena in a lesser capacity, but this is definitely an Echo story. So I kind of like that idea that at this point, it's a good jumping off point for Clint. I want him to rest.
This
I
is what
love
he.
the idea that like, all right, you can rest now. Like you're
Yeah,
good. We're seeing you battered. We're seeing
maybe
you
be the
be a
man in the chair.
badass. Yeah.
This RJ. This is
You
what he
can
tweeted. RJ. This is the silhouette in the end. This is what he tweeted. Vincent D'Onofrio.
which is kind of spoiled it for
Ooh.
me because I saw it before I saw the
Before.
episode. Yeah. So but it's fine. I mean, this is one of those things. Like I was you know, I this is turning to be, I think, my favorite Disney Plus
I
series
know, right? They were like,
because yeah, the pace is great, and then I love the idea that it is doing a lot of things. It's
but
like
sorry to
showing
interject,
the okay.
but it was probably has the weakest pilot of all the others. But it just kept building and building. Remember, the pilot was so
That's true.
so like it
That's true.
wasn't.
The first
It was
episode,
still
yeah.
You weren't sure
building.
if you're gonna watch everything, but it was good for the holidays.
I think the idea here was this is one of those series that because it is, again, it's not stressful, right? It's unlike which we'll discuss it a little bit later. It's unlike Spider-Man No Way Home. It's so stressful to not see spoilers. It's so stressful not to share spoilers if you don't watch it. This is just because it's so approachable. Like we not a lot of people know a lot about Hawkeye, know a lot about Clint, know who Kate Bishop is, know who Clint's main enemies are. Even the for the most part, the tracksuit mafia was the main bads for. There's a layer above them, but they're essentially been the main bad for the entire series. They're funny, they're dum
Bro,
dums.
bro.
They've only stolen, broke a few stuff and stolen a watch. We still don't know what the watch is about, right?
That's
So
true.
it's so easy. There's no real stress around it. But when you watch it, it's like, all right. I just love the that they paced it extremely well in a way that you can see all the sides of a superhero in one. Like, you have the cool superhero, the struggles with fame, and then the misinformation about what they've done because of either capitalism with Broadway or just general propaganda. You see how the influence the younger generation with Kate wanting to be a superhero as well, the dangers that they face, that they may not be able to live up, understand the consequences of becoming a superhero and how hard they have to train, what's the
I
strain
mean,
with the family. So
Kate
um,
trained. Kate is trained,
Kate is
but to
trained,
be
like
an athlete.
yeah. Even with
Yeah.
starting at a very young age with archery and fencing and gymnastics
Mm.
and martial arts, it's different. Like I love that every episode you see them limping or putting ice packs, or there's
Very
always some
human.
sort of like bandage in their face. So I love that every episode has that to really reiterate that, like, all right, these are regular people just trying to do what they can. And the my most favorite part about this, and this episode had so many amazing parts, but my main favorite part was you know just the fact that the last Echo and Ronin fight is explanation of what they kind of do. Like, it's not good, it's not bad. We're just doing the things that we are good at. We're
We're
just
just
being
both
pointed at a
weapons.
particular target. So you'll never know. Like, we don't know if Nick Fury is doing all the good stuff. We don't know if the Kingpin or Uncle is doing all the right or the bad stuff too. So they're just being tools. I do have some nitpicks though. Like the I love the Black Widow. Starting the episode extremely strong with the Black Widow, showing that it's also a backdoor pilot to whatever Black Widow series that they're going to do, because there will be a Widow series that they're going to do.
I
Um,
hope it's a movie, but yeah, series would be good.
yeah, but the idea of like, all right, backdoor pilot for what Florence Pugh and the other widows are doing there. They're freeing different widows, but some widows are like what? No, it's like, I know, I know what I've been doing for a long time. So I love that layered aspect of it too. Um, the very long conversation between Florence Pugh and Yelena, or sorry, Yelena
Kate.
and Kate in the Kate's apartment. Uh, it was needed, it was warranted, but I didn't think it was the connection was there, because they jumped through a few conclusions. Like one conversation, now Yelena is helping Kate.
Oh,
Right? So it's
I
That's
like
true.
loved it. I loved it.
I th- I thought I love
They
that
could
it
have
was
built
done.
on it a little bit more.
Well,
I love that
I
it was
disagree.
done.
I think everything was there because she researched her,
Mhm.
and there's not much to research on her, so she knows her already. She's fought with her. So
Yeah.
I mean,
But it was only a few hours apart too, right?
Hmm.
she's
So,
a
but
Black
either way,
Widow.
like
She's a Black
yeah,
Widow.
yeah. So,
So
and anyway, for me, there's like, it's this the sickness of this series is like there's some beats that you need to just rush. You can't provide context on how they would want to talk, but they need to talk. Like, you rush the arrest of Duke of
Duquesne.
Come on,
yeah,
that was such a sus move by the mom when she
obviously,
told him
but
about the Jack. Okay,
Mhm.
I'll look into it. Really? That's how you're gonna react? Motherfucker, that's so
Right,
obvious.
but they're rushing a few beats, but I think those are beats that are fine to be rushed. I like how everything is pointing towards this, epic. I don't know. So it's either a final battle or introduction of uh, a more grounded big bad in the MCU, which we've been lacking. We've been lacking that.
And
I love that.
I love it too.
They So the good thing about this, they set up the Black Widow group very well. They set up Kate very well. They set up Yelena very well. And for the first time ever, you have a big bad that you care for. That is, behind the scenes, exactly what a big bad should be. Like, if you're a well-known big bad, you're a pretty poor big bad.
Unless you're Thanos. Like
I will, but
Yeah,
that's the
well,
thing
that's
is,
a different.
unless you're all powerful. But in
yeah,
in
that's why it's amazing because we've had that front and center come have at me Thanos, and then now
Hmm.
it's more he's weaker like
no power wise,
physically
no.
power wise, but if you can't attack him legally because he might he's lawyered up and he's doing everything above board, you think, or that's what society thinks, then
He's working through different lieutenants,
you
and
can't touch
Mhm.
him,
again,
right? That's why it's so cool because Clint, like, he's a big bad because not because I can't kill him, but because it's not gonna I'm not gonna get that order to kill him because it's like he's being smart. So that's why
I
it's so
mean,
good.
even like Clint, who Ronan has wrapped the world around with the bodies that he killed, couldn't get close to this kingpin. So I like that,
Yes.
the fact that you're all right. It's the foundation is there, and that's what I love about the series is it's very methodical in everything that they've done. Like, that's the good storytelling. If it's good, if it's sound, if you're following your own universe's rules, it becomes more impactful. Like, again, just like showing how tired and battered, showing how they need help in a way that you're not, oh look, I'm at Grills' place. No, it's like
He
you're
needs a
not making
place
a
to
big deal
stay.
out of it. And then it's like, oh, we made your costume, and it's like, right? Like those things, and we haven't still. I was waiting for them making the trick arrows again, and I'm very very excited about that part of next episode because I've seen it in some trailers where they're going to be like doing some more stuff. So those are the stuff that kind of makes us believe that technically this is a superhero movie or superhero series. And a lot of people don't like the superhero franchises because it's like, again, it's a universe, you're kind of roped into the universe, everything is kind of fake. But this kind of shows like, no, it's like it's just a solid action series. It's a holiday family drama, apprentice drama, underground underbelly mafia kind of thing that has good action, great comedy, great acting, and a solid story.
Like
And
Mm.
I am, again, I'm sad that it's just going to be the last episode. I knew, and like I said, like Chubax is right. All the threads that they started to weave, I'm sure it's not going to be perfectly tied up in a bow by the last episode, and it's going to need Kate Bishop or a Young Avengers or an Echo series to continue on the story. But I'm fine with it.
but
Unlike
yeah,
WandaVision and unlike other stuff where it's like it's so like shit, I gotta have to wait for the next one to understand. No, this one I'm fine with it.
for
I'm
that actually for the finale, I would rather prefer them to tie the bow between like Clint and Kate, but let the others
Mhm.
go.
Yeah,
Don't try to tie everything up.
Everything at the
Let the
same
others
time.
go. Let Ronin, let
100%.
Maya go. Let Kingpin go. Just tie this tracksuit, the group, the main, so that it can breathe. Because if they tie everything up, then it's gonna be another rush one. But then I just love it. The fact that, like you said, the small things like Clint, like I'll look at the uniform, but he's falling asleep. He's so tired.
And I mean you're right. I think the play here is again comic book accurate, but also see, even if I didn't know anything about the comic books, it makes sense for Maya to, like, you can ostensibly guess that, oh, maybe Maya will take the suit and continue on the investigation and continue on toppling Kingpin's
From inside.
army from the inside, or maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe just she takes the blame so that Clint can retire peacefully, right? So there's so many storylines that make sense, and I'm very very happy. Like, all right, it's not one of those forced, like the Falcon Winter Soldier, like a giant speech and then everything, everybody's kumbaya, whatever. No, it's like, no, this makes sense. I really really enjoy it, and
And
I'm invested in other characters, and it's the first time where I really want Clint to get his rest.
and
Like,
I
I just
also
want
Mm.
him to.
I agree, and I also love that. Dude, imagine 5 episodes in for a Hawkeye series. How many times has he been with the bow in action? Once?
Just a couple, like
I
two,
think
three.
just
No, but
once.
there's like
The third episode, three. The car
he
scene.
wasn't a bow.
Huh?
Oh, he was in a sword this episode, huh?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
didn't
that's
use
right.
the bow. Hawkeye he's only used he had that cool no look shots in 1 episode out of 5. I'm sure it's gonna come in the next, but 2 episodes out of a 6 episode Hawkeye, and we're still enjoying it and we're still having fun. That's the mark of good storytelling. I mean, imagine if like it was like The Flash
That is true.
or something, then there's only like 2 episodes where they use their power. It's gonna be like we're gonna be complaining. And this one, oh good, I love it.
Yeah.
Because even though Kate's good
Kate actually used the bow a
more,
lot more times
but yeah,
Mhm.
than
but what's good
Hawkeye.
with that is she's we're not overloaded because
Mhm.
she's accurate, but she can't do the other stuff yet. The no
Correct.
looks, the trick shots. She's just accurate. She's very accurate, but
Well,
she's still
there's
learning.
that hint, but there's that
Oh
hint
yeah, of
that
course.
Clint's kind of teaching her with that coin trick, right? So,
Yeah. So I'm sure
mentoring.
by the next series, maybe Clint's there like as the mentor, just like the man in the chair now, and maybe they'll
Like
show
Batman Beyond and Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
takes the
they'll
back
show
seat,
through
or
flashback that they've been training
mm,
and
They
stuff.
would have
can
been
be.
training. Yeah. I mean, even just like the idea of like, "Pa- how do you carry that around? It's like mine folds up. It's like, damn.
Well, yeah, you
I
have to
love that.
think
Like,
about it.
I just,
Kate can
damn, that's
be
right.
a superhero, actually.
Yeah,
Her
she's
dad is gone. Her mom became a pseudo criminal. I
Mhm.
don't know. It seems to
That was
be. Her mom
obvious.
seems to be like kind of a
So it's
bad
gonna
guy.
be like season one. The parallel will be like Hawkeye's on the phone, like, "You okay? I'm gonna go. I'm going. No, no, no. I got this. Just stay there. I got this." It's like, it's so cool. Can't wait. I can't wait.
Can
I
excited.
want
be.
to see the costumes
Can
too.
be.
I mean, even though we saw it on the trailer, I still want to see a full shot.
You know, one thing that we have to give credit to Marvel is that they're able to create these small segue. They're planting seeds left, right, center, and these seeds, as multiple as they are, they're trying to grow them to see which one really clicks.
And they're
As Jong
patient.
mentioned,
They're
huh?
patient
And they're
too.
patient. They're patient. They
Right.
have years of stories just waiting.
I'm so pissed when those oldish directors say it's just like a CGI fest, punching things. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So
No, but I
effing
mean,
what?
I do understand that we're people because the movie industry has been hurting for the past couple of years.
Hmm.
Even amazing movies, one of which we're going to discuss in a little bit. Um, there's so many amazing movies that came out the past couple of years that just nobody watches. Partly because of the pandemic, but also partly movies have become so expensive that you only go to movies where there are again CGI and explosions and actions that will
Mm.
maximize the theater. You're not gonna watch like a Clint Eastwood directed drama on the cinema anymore. You're just gonna wait for it because all of our TVs are fucking amazing, and I
That's
can
true.
watch it in my underwear, and I don't have to pay for like a $15 fucking popcorn, right? So that's the argument. I understand that Disney has built a an echo chamber of this is our world, these are our rules, we'll do it at our pace, and every
Mhm.
single movie that I do now and every series makes me want to watch the stuff before, but also anticipate um the next movies after. So like a little preview of our reacts and reviews too. I've seen Spider-Man No Way Home, right? I the thing that movie is
La, la, la,
perfect,
la, 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 la,
but the thing now
la.
is like they put so many stuff there like this. Like, and I want Echo, I want the Black Widow series. We saw
Mm.
Shang-Chi, I want the Ten Ring series.
Yeah.
Like I'm hooked now. I'm like the rest of my life I will have Disney Plus, and then when my kid grows up, we are gonna marathon all 50 previous MCU titles until the next movie comes out. So that you're hooked now in this universe where this is it. So it's on Disney's clock, whatever they do, whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, which is fine by me if they have like a visionary like Kevin Feige not rushing stuff. All right, but Kevin Feige is a human. He might die. What if somebody takes over and he wants that? He or she wants that quick
Yeah, but
buck.
well, you're complaining about something that hasn't happened yet. It might, it will, but until then,
No, it has.
we're enjoying the hits.
Yeah, I mean we're enjoying the movies, but again, look at there. I also understand the fact that there are films are made to be seen in cinema, and cinema now is just changing. Like before, you have to go to a theater to have that communal experience about storytelling.
But dude, it's not just about the home theater quality. Of course, the pandemic really hit hard,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and this industry is really one of the hardest hits because how can you be in a movie cinema next to one another if you're gonna practice
Mhm.
social distancing?
No, that's
Here
still
in
true.
here in the Philippines, there are a few cinemas that are open. Rockwell being one of them. You can rent. You can watch, but you need to still be seated one seat apart. So
Yeah.
they
No, I mean
can operate, but it's gonna cost a whole lot more.
no. The pandemic just highlighted the fact that the way that movie theater experience right now or cinema experience right now
Mm.
is evolving to the point where it's going to be kind of like Broadway in a couple of more years,
True,
where you
true.
go
You're right.
once or twice a year and
Mhm.
it's an event. And then instead
Yeah.
of a $20 ticket, it's going to be $150 ticket. That's just how it's going to be. Because again,
I
now
understand your points, and it's
You
just
pay for the
it's
experience, in other
Mhm,
words.
mhm.
it's
Mm.
valid. It's just I just don't like the cheap shots on Marvel because they say it's like just
CGI.
Costume, spandex, fighting. Dude,
Well,
I've seen so many.
it's
What? I've seen so many reactions. You don't get these emotions in other movies. Nothing's made people react like they reacted Marvel, and
Oh yeah.
one after the other. It's not just like this movie. It's like these series. People are crying in one division. You don't get that from. No, that's emotional stuff. That's connection. That's not easy to do. Like what they're saying. You just put on spandex and then just fly. Really?
No.
Have you seen some of the DC stuff? Nobody watched it.
No, well, again, that's partly incorrect because Venom made $1 billion.
Well,
So
eh.
that's the thing with
That's
right.
like exception to
Both
the
Venom, right? The no,
fooling a
the
lot of.
I think what again, for me, you're right, because in the end, quality, you can't spit shine shit, right?
yes.
Right? Quality is quality. But if you want to imagine, these movies are still, if you're a Disney movie, you're an MCU title, the movie is not just it's not only the movie that is your priority. You're making a franchise, you're making
Mhm.
merchandise, you're making branding. And in the
Yes.
end, that's never going to be art, right? There's always multiple angles to a particular thing that I'm not saying that it always will, but may affect the quality of the film. Like Dune, right? Dune was one of the very, very few times where the creator, or like, the director, the screenplay writer and all the actors were making a movie, period. That's it. We don't care if we get another movie. We're gonna make the best 2.5 3 hours that we can. That's very, very few people can do that nowadays in this particular climate. Nobody does one movie anymore. Like very few, even fucking what's that movie with Daniel Craig where he was this like southern detective, Knives Out. Even Knives Out became a franchise because it was so good, right? I mean,
Yeah, but that
that's
that
what's
that kind of movie was really made for guys.
it wasn't.
True.
That's the problem.
Or
Yeah,
it
that
wasn't.
No, but
it wasn't, right?
the setup. I mean,
The format,
we already have another one with the
exactly, but
murder
like,
in the train. What was that?
yeah, no, but that's exactly the case now. And this is not the past 2 years or 5 years, the past 10 years. Like if you make a movie, the studio expects you to do two or three, which either is good because you have more story to tell, or which is bad. Case in point, The Matrix, where the second and third wasn't as fleshed out as they would wanted it to be. All right, so it's a balance. Again,
Yeah,
it's not
I don't know,
every
but
franchise is horrible.
like what you said, it's not as bad as you think because, like you said, Dune, they were trying to do one good movie, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
For us, like people like you and me, if they make a good movie, we're gonna watch it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not the
Correct.
masses. And if they just made one and their plan is not a franchise, then it doesn't matter if the masses watch, as long as they make a good movie because that's what they're doing. It's not a franchise, and they made it, so it's really good. Then people like you and me, we watched it. So I
And
don't
we'll
see the
continue to watch it.
I don't see the much of the bad thing. And you said that the Disney with all the marketing, yeah, usually it doesn't work. But how many years has Marvel been doing it? More than a decade, and it's still been working. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be dots, but then
You have to
we
understand,
did you
why
think
does
that
it work?
in if I showed you the resume of Marvel now, did you think it would be that good for those many times?
No, I mean, again,
Right? It's also,
it's
it's they've been hitting more than that and
yeah,
a lot
and
more
it's
than
But
again,
that.
they've been playing on characters that people can relate to.
mhm,
These are characters we grew up with. So if I see Captain America or Spider-Man or Batman, or not just Marvel, but so any superhero franchise, these are characters that we grew up to. We read the comics, we watched them on TV if there were cartoons, and to see them on the big screen is something that we just got to do it.
mhm.
Something like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. These are things that people grew up with, whether it's in the book or whether it's in the first few movies. It's something that if there's a new Star Wars that's coming out, people are like, "Hey, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
people
watch
are
it."
so
They're
perfect segue
hooked
because
on
that
it.
was going to be my kind of like the neutral example is
Hmm.
because technically kids, us, including us, right? Including us, we've been
Hmm.
brainwashed by all of these titles growing up.
Yes.
So regardless of what happens, we are gonna watch it. Are these titles really good? Is Shang-Chi really good?
Okay.
Right? Is it
Okay.
really a film that devoid of any connection to the MCU would have stood by itself? I think it would have, because it was a great story, but that last act was a little bit, that's directly for franchising and for kids, to brainwash kids to watch
Right.
more of these movies moving forward. Because Star Wars, like, I don't care how good or bad that fucking Star Wars series is or
I'm
movie is,
gonna
I'm
watch it.
going to watch it. Right?
Maybe
That's just
another
it.
case in point.
Yeah.
Batman movies. How many Batman movies would you all say are awesome? I would not say
Three.
every movie really
Three. It's two
spectacular.
Nolan and the first Michael Keaton.
See? There you go.
Hmm.
Even Batman with George Clooney, I watched it in the movie house.
Did we watch that premiere? I think we watched that premiere in its box.
We did.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, right? I mean, because it's Batman. Because
Yeah.
it's a character that we grew up with. So the Avengers, they're characters we grew up with. And
I think this is just a very interesting. I think the next decade of content generation, movie making, TV show making is going to be very, very interesting, because we're past the point now that, we're past the point of artistry. Like, it has to
Mhm.
be commerce. Like, you
Yes.
can't, like, Chloe Zhao. A great example is Chloe Zhao. She won an Oscar for um Nowhere Land 2 years ago, 2019. Yeah, 2019. She won best director for Clora, and she did Eternals. Right, that's a
Yeah.
great move on Marvel to bring in actual directors, like pedigree, to do certain stuff. It looked great. I mean, it's not going to be a critical hit until maybe 5-6 years from now, when the ripples of the Eternals start happening. But the idea nowadays is, um, you are as a filmmaker, at some point you can't do anything wrong with the Marvel machine, because 95% of commerce will probably go through some form of Disney product. It's like Disney owns pretty much everything. ABC, they own
That's true.
ESPN, they own Hulu, which owns is like Sky Productions in the EU. So they own a lot of stuff where, if I'm a if I'm a director, I either have to bend to their will or get out of their way, which is interesting, because right now, it's, again, if you have a Kevin Feige, I believe in Kevin Feige, whatever they did done. You tell
Hmm.
me about the Star Wars franchise, I'm hit or miss. Like we'll see about that. So that's kind of
Well,
like
they're starting to get their shit together though.
they're I
With
dude,
with
the smaller,
with
again,
with Filoni and Favreau becoming their Feige. So
and
hopefully,
small, again, like,
yeah,
that's
they're
their
starting
formula.
it. They're starting it
Small.
correctly.
And it's, if you track the careers of all of these, all of the major MCU characters, like, you star in a few movies, you have your life owned for like 6 to 8 years, but you take a break, and then you can direct, like what Chris Evans is doing, and you do all your smaller projects, but all are under Disney still. So it's kind of like you're playing in the Disney wheelhouse. I just hope that that's more of a positive thing, like a bad thing, right? Like,
Oh,
whenever you see.
if you work with Disney, you have access to their resources, which
Mhm.
is one of the,
Well,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
being a doctor in a very high tech lab rather than
Mhm.
being a doctor in the middle of nowhere.
I
Yeah.
Although
mean,
you're helping needy people, maybe if you're there for the job, then maybe that's not something you'd like. But if you're gonna be there to create fantastic things, you need
Mhm.
top notch equipment, which I think Disney can
I
provide.
mean, we're lucky right now because, as you said, we had Feige.
We have Feige. Yeah.
Monopoly's never a good thing. It's just good now because the guy in charge knows
Exactly.
what we want. But I wouldn't
Mhm.
mind if DC got their shit together. That's just more shit
No.
for us.
Oh
Yeah.
You
no,
know, I'm not
absolutely. I
or
wish.
I still watch the artistic. I watch Dune. I watch the small ones when they come out, the small good
Mhm.
ones.
Yeah,
So
these
yeah,
are.
I'm just
We watch Nicolas Cage movies.
God damn. I
Yeah.
watch Prisoners of the Ghostland. Son of a bitch. So don't tell me I'm just a Scrooge who watch.
No, you're
I
not. Of course not.
paid for Prisoners of Ghostland on iTunes. So don't tell me that I just watch people in spandex. But then again,
That's
he
true.
was kinda in spandex or
Well,
leather costume.
there was also a scene where he was just in his briefs, so I don't know.
His pleather suit might have been spandex
It,
underneath
it did
too.
look like a
Oh my
superhero costume.
god.
Yeah,
But
I
it is
think
I mean, again, it's a wonderful time now because people have access to make their own content, and we have giant um production houses like the Warner Brothers, like the
Oh yeah.
Disney, that are attempting to do franchise. I think we I mean the thing I want to meditate on, and we can discuss the more that we watch series and movies produced by these particular studios is our I've always been half and half with the franchise method. Like
Mhm.
I've like I'm never sure, because if you make a blockbuster, I don't know if you can make just one blockbuster anymore. I don't think anybody will put all their eggs in one basket to make the best possible thing that they can do. Nowadays,
True.
it's always like, like Shang-Chi was, you know, it's one of the one of my favorite origin movies in MCU, and there's a lot. But I also know that I had to caveat it as an origin movie, because as a movie, it kind of felt there were spots there that could have been way better. And then in back of my head, I was like, oh, they're gonna fix that. Well, oh, they're setting up for the next one. They're setting up for the next one. So I still don't know. I mean, like, sometimes I love that there's a next one. Sometimes I hate that I have to wait another two,
No, but
three
it's
years
it's awesome
for the
that
next
it
one.
it makes you think that there's a next one, and the next one could actually not be. For example, for Shang-Chi, next one could possibly not even be Shang-Chi. It could be
Mhm.
him showing in Doctor Strange, or
Mhm.
I don't know if Wong's
I
gonna
don't
have his
know. I
own show.
disagree. I love
No,
Shang-Chi.
there's already a
No, I love Shang-Chi as well.
yeah.
I'm just saying the way they make the ending is it's not limited to a
Yeah.
linear um
Mhm.
oh, there's gonna be Shang-Chi too. It could be he could guest in any
Oh,
other
he will for
Marvel
sure. Yeah.
movie. And that's what we look forward to. We want those cameos, or we want them to collaborate with the other superheroes. And that's what makes the MCU amazing. Because if Shang-Chi were to appear on a I don't know, on another Avengers movie, or it wouldn't be such a big, oh, who's this guy? You're gonna be like, yes, just like what
Yeah.
they did with Hawkeye. The
And
way you guys said it is that with Vincent D'Onofrio joining finally at the end, right? It kind of
Yep.
links Hawkeye
mhm.
with Daredevil, because
Yeah.
you're looking at the same guy.
Mhm.
So this is the same universe.
So, I
I'm
don't
so
know. Is it
excited.
the same universe or is it a multiverse?
It has to be, or yeah, you're right,
Well,
multiverse.
we'll
So
see.
we'll
We
find
shall
out.
see.
And
I
but
mean,
that's
they
that's the beauty. That's the point. It's actually possible to now mix everyone.
because they did take Jonah Jameson in
From
a
a
That is
different
different,
true.
version, so
yeah.
it'd be a different version.
Well, I mean, so again, these are the types of discussions that we like doing in the podcast. Feel free to jump in the convo about franchises and monoliths and stuff like that with terms of these particular series. And it's great. Again, in the end, we have content to enjoy, and that's the most important thing. I'd rather have more watered down mainstream content in our grasps less rather
That's
than
true.
less access to this. I love the idea that Disney, particularly MCU and Warner, are fucking trying to compete with each other in terms of universes of like comic book or just superhero universes for us to to vie for our attention to watch. Would I but again, I also understand that kids or us who've grown up with these particular things is still are now is hooked. Like we're so addicted to this particular shot of superhero or fantastical series and movies. Hopefully, um, we can still appreciate smaller
Why-
movies and other things like that.
You see this? Charlie
Yeah.
Cox
I
after
saw-
episode 5.
Mm, I mean, Feige
Here
already.
we go.
Uh, Feige has already kind of confirmed that Carly
He
Cox
did.
will
He
be
did.
the MCU Daredevil. So I'm happy. So the thing, I'm happy. Good. I trust you.
I know.
You know, you'll do good with Vincent
keep
D'Onofrio and Charlie
keep
Cox.
doing it. Yeah.
And the only thing that I want from Disney is give Filoni the same power in Favreau,
I think
Make
again,
it-
that's I think it's
because
we
they're
have
kind
a
of
s-
there's
we have
been
a slew of
some infighting still with them.
and again, it's
Wars.
we have Feige that kind of developed a franchise essentially from scratch and by sheer luck, um, from nothing, and then we have this amazing, rich franchise of Star Wars that has stalled. It's not
Mhm.
dead. It has stalled.
No, it's
But
going. The movies are
it's
stalled,
going.
but the franchise by itself is fine. It's with Two Good Mando series, and then the others. Clone Wars was a great also. Bad Batch.
Again, we have
So the
Boba
movies is
coming
the one that
out.
they need to restart.
Yeah,
I hope the
so
Taika
yeah,
Waititi Star Wars is on. Because
yeah, that's true.
that would be a great one shot. Just give me, and then
The
the one Rogue Squadron. Give me a Rogue Squadron. Though I'm worried about Patty Jenkins after
no, that was
Wonder Woman
already
2.
canceled.
Has it been confirmed that it's been
It
canceled?
has been confirmed that
Because I
creative
saw
differences. Patty Jenkins. That's what the last thing I heard about it. Because I think it was because 1984 was so horrible. Um. Oh, delayed.
delayed. It's
Delayed.
Delayed. I remember reading certain stuff that there's some creative differences because they were kind of quite worried of how 1984 performed.
not performed.
There you
How it
go.
was fucking made.
Oh, exactly. Well, same thing. But
Which caused the poor
I
performance.
wonder if she approved that story. That's why I'm worried.
how could you not? You're the director. How could you not approve that story?
Oh, that was so bad. Well, then again, Gal Gadot approved it. so-
Unless your hands were moved by the
yeah.
producers.
by
I mean,
DC.
yeah, that's true. But again, you could always still say no. Look at what happened to Doctor Strange. They had
Which
creative
is-
differences. Said no.
Mm.
Right. Now we
True,
have Sam
true,
Raimi.
true.
But all right, we went a little bit long on that, but that's how discussions go in a particular podcast about reviews. Um, our special movie for the week. We suggested this a couple of weeks ago. I suggested this a couple of weeks ago, particularly because I hate musicals. I absolutely hate musicals. It's something that I've never been. I like more of the realistic movies and series that I watch. I never just understood how people can break out into song in real life. That's my part of that part of my brain just doesn't work. But Andrew Garfield is having a moment for the past year or so with rumors around No Way Home and this particular performance in Tick Tick Boom. So the next few minutes, we're going to provide you with our opinions about this, I think, gem of a series that
Show,
you can
movie, I
easily
mean.
access in Netflix. So the super high level plot summary of Tick Tick Boom is as such. And this is something where, again, coming into this, I had no idea. I had no idea about what this movie is about. I don't know what Tick Tick Boom is about. I did not know who Jonathan Larson was about. I have never seen Rent,
Same.
which is as a New Yorker is something of a faux pas because it's one of those things that
You
everybody
done
should watch.
fucked up, boy.
Yeah, but again, it's like nobody has taken me through it, so I have no previous knowledge about this. So when I was watching this, I thought that like, why are we making a fucking film with a failed play? But plot is summarized as it goes. So Tick Tick Boom is an off Broadway. So there's Broadway, there's off Broadway, and there's off Broadway. So there's like very lots of layers in terms of the theater scene, or in the theater scene period, but the theater scene particularly in New York. Um, so Jonathan Larson made an off one man show Broadway play, semi autobiographical, about his struggles of writing, creating, and workshopping his first play entitled Suspiria.
Superbia.
Superbia. Suspiria is like a different movie
A
with
very,
Dakota
very
Johnson.
weird different movie.
Uh, so so that was essentially it. So this is essentially a multi-layered movie musical that is using the Tick Tick Boom as the title of the off Broadway one person play about himself and his play. And so you can see the Tick Tick Boom play describing him writing in his life during Superbia. And this is important because uh, him writing Superbia, which the big struggle was, it took him such a long time to write this play. And usually the big Broadway playwrights, they write multiple things prior to um, prior to the 30th birthday. But the movie starts him counting down to his 30th birthday, and his struggles on relationships, friends dying during the 80s and 90s through the HIV pandemic, struggles with maintaining becoming an artist, or quote unquote selling out and getting a corporate job so that you can provide for yourself. Also commitment with at that current time, Jonathan Lawrence's girlfriend, who got a more stable job not in the city, so it's a couple of hours away from the city, so that would have ostensibly made him farther away from his dream of becoming a Broadway playwright or Broadway star. And in total, that's pretty much it. The play has a lot of really cool songs. Eventually it gets workshopped, so that's how plays are kind of funded or quote unquote produced in Broadway. Is you write it, you do a little show with a few people, with a few producers, to see how good it could be, because you can't just make a play with casts and props and a venue without seeing what the bones of it is. So the whole time I thought that this was Jonathan Larson's first play, Superbia. It was never produced. It was the realistic part of it was, although it was critically acclaimed, it was too fantastical at that point in Broadway to do a sci-fi drama
Too
thing.
weird.
Too weird to
But
become
too expensive for off Broadway.
100%. So that was kind of the long and short of it. Kind of crushed him for a little bit, but also everything that he learned and experienced and lost eventually spurred him to do this off Broadway play, Tick Tick Boom, about his experience before he went on back working on his next real screenplay, which inevitably became Rent, one of the most groundbreaking Broadway plays. When essentially what they call like the modern Broadway play is that kind of broke everything was Rent. And he the Rent was workshopped well, produced well, but prior to it launching on Broadway, Jonathan Larson died from an aneurysm. So he never was really able to enjoy the fruits of his labor. So I had no idea about any of those, and this was an amazing way for us to look at like stars. The stars never you're not, most meteoric rises are not actually meteoric. Like Rent being one of the most revered Broadway plays in the entire world, in the entire history, did not start as Rent. It started as Superbia, and then off for pay, struggled in a tiny studio apartment in New York, worked waiting tables and doing ad agency jingles before you get this inspirational Broadway play moving forward. So, right, that's Tick Tick Boom. Chubax. I know RJ was not able to watch this movie, but Chubax, what did you think about the movie? What did you like, did not like, and storylines that you
I
enjoyed the most?
I don't know. I think this is a moody movie, and I wasn't
Mm,
probably in the mood. But I don't know. It didn't resonate with me. It's amazing. I agree.
mm,
I the direction, the shots, the use of
mhm.
the CGI, the creativity. It's all there. It's amazing. Andrew Garfield is amazing.
I
Um,
hate him.
but the songs didn't hit me.
Mhm,
Um, the uh I mean I like musicals, but the songs started to sound the same after a while.
mhm.
But the only
I
thing
was
that
actually about to say maybe you don't like musicals.
no, I
It's a
love
movie movie.
the only thing that popped was the song in the apartment. The
Bo bo bo.
bo 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 bo.
Oh, dude, I was just gonna say that.
That's my favorite. That was the one that stick because I loved In the Heights. That one, there were so a few songs there that I really liked. But as is with all musicals, they do tend to start sounding the same after a while. It's just the nature of musicals,
Mhm,
and I like musicals. So this one, I don't know. Some of the songs didn't resonate with me, and I don't know. I like the everything was creative. The transitions, the cuts from the tick tick boom play, and then him writing Superbia was good. It was really
mhm,
creative. Lin Manuel Miranda did great. Andrew Garfield, as I said, is amazing. But some of the scenes, like by the middle, I was like pissed at him. It was like he was a crappy
mhm.
friend, a crappy boyfriend.
Exactly.
He was that kind of pissed me off. Like uh I don't know. He was fighting this. He was fighting the corporate life,
Mhm.
but then he was doing waiting hours in the moon dance. Why can't you
Moonlight
do the
City.
corporate while doing your play? And that's what I didn't get.
Mhm,
Like how many hours? It's not like he's writing musical in the moon dance you know what I mean? It's just it's hard work. It's manual labor. You could have done the corporate life, pay your bills, be a better friend, be a better boyfriend, and still work and not sell out, as you said. But I guess the favorite. I was a little disappointed that Vanessa Hudgens was just like not even
Oh,
not even a side character. Like she
mhm,
had a song in there, a few songs, but he wasn't even like his friend really. He was just a singer.
mhm,
And then um the one that resonated with me was I did like the part with him finally getting back with his best friend because that touched me like us or best friends. And it was nice. It was a good shot where he was thinking back to the school, the things they did. He was reminiscing about that. Was nostalgia about that. That was nice. And it's sad that he didn't get to see Rent explode too. It was he was they could have diagnosed it if they diagnosed it correctly. He would have had a shot at living,
mhm.
but they misdiagnosed it, and then he had aneurysm, so he died. But yeah, that's my take. You haven't seen In the Heights, right?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I like
No.
the music there was more my type. This one it was a little too dramatic because like
Mhm,
there were some songs in there that were like talking about the same thing. Like he was always sad and angry, and it was like
mhm.
it went on for a few songs in the middle. But I like the start and I like the ending also. Sad ending, but yeah, it was good. It was I still liked it, even though it didn't resonate as much as I would have liked. Maybe it just wasn't in the mood.
Yeah.
How
No, but
about you?
I think I mean, your reviews are pretty much spot on. Like with mine as well. It's just that I loved how this movie made me feel, and I have to give all the props to Lin Manuel Miranda, the pace, the direction, the creativity. It was fast, it was frenetic, it was energetic. It kept me engaged, kind of like a juxtaposition between how the movie was shot and how the message, because the message is annoying. It's sad. It's like
Mhm.
he's procrastinating. I thought you loved your play. I thought you loved theater. Why are you procrastinating? Right. That's in the back of my mind. That was what I was thinking. It's like I thought you lived and breathed this, but why are you fucking it up? Right. So I like that. Andrew Garfield just I fucking hate how talented this dude is. It's
He
like it's
sang it and
annoying.
he played the piano. Uh, he did
Motherfucker.
that he did those. So that was
So
yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed for this becoming is Lin Manuel Miranda's directorial debut because it looked so polished. It looked so good.
Yeah.
And again, I hate musicals. I didn't even understand most of the songs that he was playing, but I understood how it felt about how he was stuck and torn through multiple times. The fear of confirming if your dream is good or bad. That's I think that's what kind of like made me hooked. It's like, all right, let's see. I really thought Superbia was going to be a thing. I thought that was he's going to get some money and he's going to be able to actually pay rent
Even
and
Tick Tick
write.
Boom didn't
Right?
really do anything. Because
No, again,
Tick
and
Tick Boom came out after Rent,
nine
2002.
no in between.
No, no, no.
Well,
Should
well,
be
he had
before, right?
so Tick Tick Boom when he was so Boho Living is essentially Tick Tick Boom where Jonathan Larson played. It would only played for I will say 3 weeks, a very very short run, right? And then he wrote Rent, and then once Rent became its thing, this is something that he wrote. Other people performed Tick Tick Boom. Like Neil Patrick Harris
Gotcha.
actually played the Jonathan slash John character in Tick Tick Boom as an off Broadway revival too. So but
Got
again,
it.
this
I got it.
is the I also I none of the cameos hit with me because I don't know Broadway, but apparently all Broadway legends were
Who
in
mentioned
some form of
in there?
either in the diner or in the audience or wherever, but a lot of Broadway legends were there. And the only thing that I read up on is Sodenheim, which is prominently the person that kind of gave Jonathan Larson that critique
Supported him, yeah.
to keep on going and supported him and liked he understood the vision. Um, 2 weeks after this came out, died. So
This
it's kind of
movie,
like both this
Damn.
movie, when it came out,
it's
he
just
died as
parallel
well.
to him.
Yeah. So well, no, but he's been like a Broadway producer
Successful. Yeah,
legend
yeah,
for
I know.
decades. So it was kind of like a perfect timing that everybody appreciated that. It's not just the people that are in the play that wrote the play that makes everything. There's so many people
Even Rent,
involved.
from what I read, was he was
Mm,
supposed to be collaborating with somebody, or the idea started from somebody, and then he
mm.
collaborated with it because Sodenheim introduced Larson to him.
There you
Oh,
go.
the guy who had the initial idea for Rent was looking for collaborators and asked Sodenheim who, and then Sodenheim um
Said work with this guy.
mentioned Larson, and then they started collaborating, and then it went nowhere. And then after a few years, Larson wanted to do something with it, and then said, "Can I do like ask permission? Can I do something?" And then the guy said, "Sure, do it, but once it hits major Broadway, I need some cut
Compensation.
or something
Yeah.
like that." But yeah,
Oh.
I mean, I still rate it high. I think I'd give it an
Mm,
8. I think it would have been a 9 or a 10 if I was in the mood though. Or maybe
mm.
just I don't know. Maybe just some of the songs didn't hit.
That's
Was
true.
are the songs the one that he played in the
Yeah.
play? Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of it was like again, that's why it's again it's
I
that's
think
why
I
it
would
wasn't
have.
a critical hit.
I think I would have loved. I think we would have loved Superbia. The weird
Now
sci-fi
maybe
shit,
we'll see.
right?
Maybe it's somewhere out there. This maybe that's next the next
The next
Lin
movie.
Manuel Miranda and Andrew Garfield movie Superbia. We'll see.
But even the
Yeah.
concept is amazing. Imagine the guy who's known for one thing. They didn't even make the movie about
Yes.
that. It's about his other play that was talking
About
about
another
his
play.
failed first play. So it's
Yes.
like that was really cool. I like that.
That yeah, you said it perfectly. That's what kind of like is baffling my mind right now because again, I when I watched it, I didn't even know that it was the dude that made Rent. So I thought it was Lin Manuel Miranda and Andrew Garfield. Fine, it's on Netflix. Fuck it, let's watch it. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. You rated it as an 8. I'm gonna go 8.5, 8.75 actually, only because it's like for me, I like the darker stuff. And this was
And
um
where did I see the actress girlfriend? She's pretty.
she
Right.
might be in one it's again a superhero movie. I think it's Birds of Prey or whatnot. No, that's not her.
Can I
Um
ask if a guy who doesn't enjoy musicals watch this,
Oh, she was Storm in
would
Apocalypse. When
would they
Apocalypse.
enjoy it?
I think like what Chubax has mentioned, you need to be in the mood because
Mm,
this requires some emotional investment, right? It's not just something that you sit down and you open your eyes.
okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so
You have to
you have
really
to
listen.
feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and
have to feel.
it's a good story to Jay. So I think yeah, you just have to be in the mood. I try to be in the mood for it, but it's definitely good. Have you seen In the
Oh
Heights,
well,
Jay?
No, no, not.
No.
Is that another musical?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that one we
Lin
should watch.
Manuel's play. Lin Manuel's first play.
First
So
play,
yeah,
but that
that's
one was good, right?
yeah. It actually
Like I
he
mean,
did that when he was
it
in college.
he made it. It made him right. Did
It
it?
made him.
It made him right.
Yeah,
Like this is
yeah. That was but heavily influenced by Rent.
by.
By Rent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was the
okay. Also, that's why he did this. I just like the music more in this one. It's like, and he's so cool. This
It's
guy.
a lot more modern. So this was what 90s, late 90s, 2000s.
Lights up on Washington Heights. Up at the break of day, I wake up and I got this little punk I gotta
And
chase
it's
away.
Lin Miranda
Pop the
rap,
brake
so I
at
love
the
it.
crack of dawn, sing while
I
I
guess I
wipe
was with
down the
Bayad.
awning. Hey, good morning.
Mexican? Mexican
Puerto
American?
Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
And just for today, I got my mate.
Oye, mira, güero,
Ooh,
¿cómo estás?
shaved ice.
Siempre, señor Usnavi.
That's Lin Manuel,
Ice cold piragua,
the guy with the
I am
pushing the cart.
Usnavi, and you probably never heard my name. Reports of my fame are greatly exaggerated, exacerbated by the fact that my syntax is highly complicated.
It's very New York. It's very the bodega in the Heights. Washington Heights is 180th Street and above.
Is it somewhere near your area?
No, it's it's way north.
Oh, the milk is gone bad. Hold up just a second. Why is everything in this fridge warm and tepid? I better step it up and fight the heat. Cause I'm not making any profit if the coffee isn't light and sweet.
Ooh.
Abuela, my fridge broke. I got café, but no con leche.
Ay, Dios.
Anyways, yeah. So that it's really cool.
That's pretty interesting.
One of
Okay.
our next assignments when we have a slow week, we'll do
Which
the
we
Heights.
we won't have
Which
until
we
maybe
might not have.
February or March.
I don't think,
Um,
yeah, I think we're going to be busy beyond
right.
anything.
Well, with that, I think this is a very healthy, lengthy, despite a very light episode in terms of
Content.
topics for our reviews. Please, again, extra housekeeping is, please subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, share it with your friends. Just search +63HP in YouTube so you can watch all of our episodes, reviews, D&D, and reacts. You can tweet at us or follow us on Instagram at +63HP. And you can just like put us on in the background and whip out your phone. Go to Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, search +63HP, hit that subscribe button and listen to us talk about different shows in depth, different trailers that we are hyped about, or just make fun of us while we, us almost 40-year-old people try our first hand at D&D. Again, next week we have the
excited.
last 2 episodes of Wheel of Time. Very, very excited about to discuss that. The last episode, oh my God, of Hawkeye is going to be hyped. And we're gonna give our thoughts in the first how many ever episodes we've watched of The Witcher. I've watched quite a lot already, so I'll be
Season
done.
2.
Save
Season
some,
two.
brother. Save some.
Yeah, I can't. I cannot. Laugh. Goodbye, RJ.
Well, I hope all you viewers enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, please join in the conversation by writing some comments. We would love to hear what you guys think and join, give your thoughts. We'd respond back anyway. So thank you. Chewy?
Yeah, guys. I'm really loving our getting close to our goal of 100 subscribers. So do comment, like, and subscribe, guys. We always respond. Jong.
And thank you very much. We love you all. I love my brothers, and stay tuned for our next D&D show and reacts episode in the next couple of days. But with that, we will see you in the next one.
Bye bye.